morning, everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast, and it is draft week. So, down there, already shutting roads off. What kind of chaos we got?
It's Pittsburgh, and I will tell you that Pittsburgh has not had an event like this in the city, and there's going to be certain challenges. Anybody who is attending the draft and has attended drafts before kind of understands this a little bit. There's just, hey, you think you can get in this way? Nope. Got to go to the other spot. You got to go over here. There's going to be a lot of walking around. Wear comfortable shoes is what I would suggest that anybody does here, because you're not going to be able to get around as simple and as easy as normal. And anybody who's driven in Pittsburgh understands it's weird in general. Like, you have to, like, it's just awkward to drive in Pittsburgh. There's always spots where, oh, you're supposed to turn left. Oh, you not that left, the other left. And like getting into the right lane when you're going across a bridge, and are you on the right bridge? And just, it's even hard to follow Google Maps or Apple Maps when you're driving around in here. And now that they're shutting roads down, things that take 5 minutes to get to take 25 minutes now. So it's going to be a little challenging. It's going to cause me to have to leave the show early, which I'm sure Herb is really excited about.
I'm sad already. Like, it hurts me. Wait, when you leave, I'm leaving. That's it. I'm done. Like, I'm just logging out too.
He's sad because you logged in. That's really what it was.
Oh, you agreed not to share that.
he saw you log in. He's like, ah.
I thought we was off today. But it's looking to be a great week. There's a lot of things that are happening here. Tomorrow, I get to be the color commentary for the Great Pennsylvania Mascot Race.
Oh, wow.
You know, and that's a big deal. It's going to be covered by ESPN.
Okay.
You know,
I mean,
I'm with it.
So is Tag. So
yeah, ESPN 8 to the Ocho.
Yeah, that's right. That's awesome.
But yeah, it's like I said, it's going to be a lot of fun. I feel like that you may see me more in clip version moving forward than I will be on. So I'll try to send you as many clips as possible, because I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to handle getting on early in the morning and such, because I'm not sure how things are going to happen here. But it's the NFL draft, and there's nothing like it. And it's although it's in Pittsburgh now, it's going to be in Washington next year. It's going to be a great event.
Yeah, for sure.
But I have to start somewhere else.
Well, you got to answer this question first. How did you get picked for the commentary for that?
So I am an ambassador to Visit PA, and Visit PA is the one throwing that event. And so they asked me to be the color commentary, along with speaking at the event as well, giving a speech. Right. So yeah, not only am I just a pretty face.
Wow.
And then what, you have your poker tournament tomorrow, right?
Tonight. That's happening tonight. This evening. Okay. Yeah, so we our charity poker tournaments, we have we're going to have somewhere in the neighborhood of about 200 Superfans around. Not everybody's going to be playing poker. That poker tournament would take forever, so we limited the field some, but it's looking to be, again, another one of these. This is the first time this is happening, but we had ESPN there yesterday, figuring out how they were going to cover it and all, and this is going to be I'm excited. This is really an exciting time right now.
So if people are in Pittsburgh, they wanted to see this event, can they come out?
Yes, it's going to be at Chupka's 2, CUPKA 2, Cafe 2, okay. And it's on East Carson Street. I will tell you that the event starts at 6 o'clock, and it goes for as long as we are there. It's going to be a great time. And this is my Browns buddy.
I gotcha.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, I feel like I need to ask them which pick are they going to mess up.
So they asked which pick are you going to mess up?
Oh, I'm gonna go with the Raiders.
That the Raiders are going to mess up their pick. That the Browns ain't going to mess up their pick. It's going to be the Raiders that mess up their pick.
I mean, two things can be true.
Who's your starting quarterback this year?
Oh, Deshaun Watson, the greatest of all time.
Oh,
Deshaun
whoa.
Watson.
Oh man! Wow! Wow! It was the way he finished that. Wrapping that up with the greatest of all time that's rough.
There you go. So, anyways, but so yeah, that you got that right from the horse's mouth. I told you that Cleveland's fans.
Deshaun Watson, though.
I know, right?
Not just Deshaun Watson, the greatest of all time.
Exactly.
Now, technically, he didn't say the greatest of what, so that's there's a lot of things.
There is,
and the greatest heist of all time with that contract. Maybe.
To be fair, he may be right. He may be their starting quarterback because it's not like Shador or Gabriel showed out. So, I mean, neither one of them were spectacular out there. So it's real possible. And they even came out and said it's going to be open competition for him to try and get it back. So, do I think Deshaun could play better than those two guys? Well, I mean, better than what we saw last year.
Yeah, I think that's simple enough to be able to beat that. Like if that's the bar, he's going to get above the bar.
Rather have Sanchez. I mean,
there's an argument to that too.
There honestly there is. Like he at least had a couple of decent years. They'd probably get him on work release or something. Seems like a Browns thing.
Right.
But now I have to switch gears a little bit because Philly shocked the world last night. And I tell you, maybe that's how you got to do it in the NBA. You got to lose so bad in the previous game that they just take the night off. And while they take the night off, you surprise them.
Yeah.
Because that's what I felt like.
Yeah. Well, and I was trying to give Brian credit because I thought he was the one telling everybody, hey, it's only one game. And sometimes that's what happens. The part that we missed, he could be, is, well, sometimes you're down in the game and it's a series. You're like, okay, this, we're mailing in the rest of this game. It's done. There's no comeback. We're good. Let's get back to game 2. And it feels like they did. For Philly, I think you also see something we've talked about a lot, what your future is. Maxey and Edgecombe. Those are your building blocks clearly for the future. And I know we already went into it twice, so I won't bring up Embiid that much, but getting rid of that salary and being able to fill, Brian, I was trying to give you credit for it, Brian. You were the one. Hey, calm down. It's only one game. You were absolutely right. I was wrong on that one 1,000%.
And so was I.
So, hey, Brian, at the same time, calm down. It's only one game.
Oh, well, look, to Brian's credit, I'm the one that brought it up. He had already forgot he said it. So he was like, what are we talking about? So I will give him credit. But no, that's your future is those two. And the team should absolutely be built around them. So great performance by them. I think only Brown showed up for the Celtics as I was watching, and they kind of controlled the pace and controlled everybody else.
And not only, I tell you, that guy is good. Watching him make some of the threes, like he was well defended and making those three, he is really good. He is really good.
You talking about Edgecombe or Brown or Maxey?
Brown.
Oh, yeah. No. Brown somehow got overshadowed this year in any kind of MVP talk. But this is a guy whose team thought they were tanking because Tatum wasn't going to be there. And then basically carried them to a 2 seed in the East
Mhm.
And we just kind of ignore it because, oh, the whole team's good. No, they gave up half the team before the season started. Brown was a legitimate MVP candidate that you'll never mention and probably won't get any votes. But I think that was a phenomenal performance. So I think they just controlled everybody else, and Maxey and Edgecombe were just better. So
and in the very beginning, it looked bleak.
Yeah.
Like they were down by 20 points and it just started. It was crazy how the Sixers got down, and then by halftime they were back up again. So it was like, wow, this was just going to be more of the same. And then they just woke up. But you also had to think that, I mean, Boston was shooting like 48% from the field in game one. That's not going to sustain.
Yeah.
That's not going to sustain at all. Eventually they're going to come back down to earth. But I was surprised. I was pleasantly surprised to think that to see the Sixers do and play the way they did. It's like I thought this was a sweep, and now we already know it's not. You know what I mean? That makes game 4 worthwhile to me. You know what I mean? That it's like, okay, now I'm going to be there for game 4. I can't be there for game 3 because they all be at the draft, but game 4 I will be there. And I may be up there in Boston for game 5. Just to try to be a part of that and get involved. You know what I mean? Because obviously there's no quit, and I like that. That's what I want from my team, not to quit.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I mean, losing sucks, but it's fine if the effort's there.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you're grinding it out and it just didn't work out, I mean, hey, you just weren't the better team, is what it is. When you see those situations where they're just letting guys go by, you're just like, okay, like,
right. Well, something we said yesterday, you as a fan, you never want to feel like you're putting in more effort than the players.
Exactly.
And that's the biggest problem. But no, I was happy for them. The first round kind of turned around yesterday a little bit too, or the last couple of days. So, and they were part of that. So, and that's how I like Maxey and Edgecombe. So I was really happy to see them have good games. I
mean, I didn't think they were going to get swept. I thought they'd snag a game. That's probably the game they snagged.
Well, now you woke up the beast. So now you got to make sure. Listen, you have to play the exact same way. You have to be very strong defensively. And that was one of the better defensive outings that I saw them play. You can't give guys 2 steps anymore. You have to be in their circle of space. So, and that's what made Brown so great last night. Like he was just knocking down threes. I mean, at one point they got it to within 2 points. And the next thing you know, Maxey and Edgecombe and Maxey, bang, bang, bang with the 3-pointers. And I was like, why even do that? Why doesn't Maxey drive more? I bet you he's got a good first step. He could do that. And then he did it. It was like he ran 3 steps backwards and then crushed it down the lane and got fouled. I says, that's how I would love to see him score 3-pointers. He makes the layup and he was like that big, like alley-oop, like he went like in a circle to shoot that ball. Which was just a pretty shot in general. And it was like, you knew at that point, the coach from Boston took out all his people. He knew at that point that the game was over, that we're not going to win. And there was 3 minutes left when he did that. And he put in all the 7 through 12 guys.
Yeah. I mean, which is fine. Like get them some playoff experience. And I mean, if you know you're out of it, you don't have time. Your players don't look like they got the fight in them to come back. Then you take them off. You don't want anyone to get hurt. And you get ready for the next game.
Yeah, you still got a long time to come back. So
right. So I said this last night when I made my video. I said, do I think the Sixers win the series? I don't know, but it's like I don't know if they've got enough to beat Boston, but they did last night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's really what I was looking at. Great.
Five players for the Sixers scored double figures, and you only have the top 2 for Boston, Brown and Tatum. And then Boston also shoots 26% from 3. Like some of those numbers are not sustainable, but you'll take it game by game. You know, that to win in Boston, that's still huge. And now you look at game 3, like this is where everything turns. So
what was the Sixers percentage from 3?
39, did I say 49? 19 for 39, 49%.
Yeah, that's unsustainable too. So you're figuring that you want both. You want them. You figure that Boston's going to come up a little bit. That's going to be somewhere around 32%, and you want to be somewhere at around 37%. You're going to have to outshoot Boston to be able to beat them, because they're going to get a lot more points in the paint than we are, just because of the way that they're constructed. And I also feel that they're better at the rebounds than the Sixers are. But you know, hey, it's a good start. It's a good start. The fact that they were able to do that and take one in Boston made for. Edgecombe with a double-double. Maxey, between the both of them, they had what, 65 points? Just about
59 points.
59, and then George had 75. So between three, or make them 75 points. So that's listen. If those three can do it like that, you know, and so that Drummond over 10 means that he's getting more baskets underneath the basket. That's what I would think, that he's getting
which he
some
needs
of that.
to be at. Yeah. I mean, that should be just a primary rebound guy. He took 1 3 last night, made it, and was like, all right, that's done. Like, no more, you're good. So, but 11 of your threes came top 2 guys. Yeah. So, no, I mean, that's, you know how you're going to be carried like this year, and we're talking about next year. Those should be your 2 guys, and everything should go through them.
Yeah. And if you're going to shock the world, you know, like, all right, you started with 1. Did you wake up the beast? Maybe. But
did you wake up the beast, or did you wake up the beast? Boston might have seen that and been like, okay.
Well, no, that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. I'm not thinking that the Sixers are going to be able to sustain what they did last night.
No,
they can try. They have to play as good a defense as they did last night. That's the difference. If you play that defense, you could pressure Boston enough. Boston has a lot of mid players. They have their 2 great ones, but then they have a lot of mid players. And if you can only make sure that those 2, as long as they're not scoring 50 and 60 points, you know, like that, you are defending them some. But if they're scoring 30 points and the rest of them are having hard times getting 8, 10, you know, like keeping them around that, and no third person gets theirs, then you are doing what you need to do, and that's how you're going to win this series. That's harder. It's easier said than done.
This was looking at different, I don't know why you get different numbers, but this is like the 7 or 8 times this year Boston was held under 100 points. So add to that, that's, you know, it was just great performance. I wasn't mad at it. I was rooting for him. I like Maxey, I like Edgecombe. So
I mean, they're basically going to have to be perfect to take Boston out. Yeah,
which is what you expect as a lower seed, and you know, technically your best player not in the series. But I'm just happy to have a series, man. You know, having like 4-0 and 4-1 in every first round series is never, you know, that's never a good start to your playoffs.
Exactly.
How did Detroit fare?
They didn't play. I think they play again tonight. So they're what, 1-1? Are they 0-1?
0-1. 0-1.
Yeah.
So they haven't had a second game.
Yeah, they play tonight.
So the real question is going to be, what's the status of Wemby moving forward, right? Because he went down hard, face bounced off the floor. He leaves the game. So I imagine he's being evaluated for concussion.
Right.
And so depending on that, is he going to be available? Because that would be a huge loss for the Spurs, you know, especially coming off a loss after, you know, he gets hurt.
Yeah. And when they got a couple more days still for their next game.
No, and I know they said concussion protocol, but that doesn't actually mean anything, you know, until he has an evaluation that gives us a timeline, you know, because sometimes you can go in the protocol and they're like, oh, he's fine. So, I mean, they're like, especially when it's the playoffs, I feel like the protocol is a little different. During the regular season, they're like, oh yeah, where are you? Do you remember all these things? And then in the playoffs, because they want these things to be good since they make money, they're like, you know what? He didn't eat crayons. Good to
go. You recognize the basketball? Yes. Okay, that's fine.
Perfect. Good to go.
This isn't football. It isn't football, and they don't have the same regulations. For concussion protocol. Yeah. So it's like
probably because they don't have to go through it that often. So,
exactly.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. Like he came to the sideline. They're like, "You got what?" We don't play physical like that.
Yeah. So.
Here's a couple of motion. Call me in the morning.
Yeah.
Now there's an old ad for.
There you go. And the fact that all of us got it immediately was.
No, I mean, the gray is there on purpose.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. But Wemby's also a competitor, man. If there's anybody that's going to try to come back 1,000%, no matter what, I guarantee he's trying to get back in the game last night. And they were like, look, it's a series. So, yeah. Brian, they were leading still for a lot of that game, even without Wemby. So it's a good team, and it's a well-constructed team. But clearly, you'd rather have him there to close it out. So,
well, they were like 13-5 without Wemby.
Yeah.
So it's not like that they're not used to playing without him. It's just it's the playoffs, though. You know what I mean? Yes. And they're going to give that other team is going to come after them, especially when they feel like that they smell blood in the water.
Yep, the Trailblazers. That's what happened last night. So they did get the win. I think like a lot of your series now are 1-1. So yeah, Brian, Portland had a lot of fight. They were kind of one of those teams that, I guess they wanted to go for it this year as far as playoffs, but they weren't sure if they had all the personnel. They even signed Dame, but he's not coming back for a whole year. But that's a good team to root for, especially when you have a little coach controversy at the beginning of the year when your coach is betting mafia, right? Playing mafia poker. So, no, good for them for sure. Because if you're the other team, look, it's not my fault your best player's out. Like we're just out here to get a win. So
you play who's in front of you.
Yeah,
like know what I mean. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that doesn't matter what sport it is, right? Like we saw the Patriots make it. Do you think they make it if the Broncos have their quarterback? Probably not, right? But
it's hard to say that because we couldn't see that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's why I say probably, right? Because who knows?
Yeah.
So especially the way that team was playing.
Yeah. So you play whoever's in front of you and you go for it. And, everybody's a little banged up this time of year and everybody's a little hurt. So it's kind of is what it is. So
now,
for getting that win.
When one of your better players bounces their head off the floor, obviously that's an issue. And of course, oops. Oh, what was that?
I heard it, but I didn't see it.
Yeah, me neither.
But you can bet on whether or not he has a concussion right here on Coast to Coast.
Good job, Donna.
Hey, no, exactly. I saw that over there too. That was weird. I got a chime and no post.
Yeah.
StreamYard, figure your stuff out. Up to 125% of your first 3 deposits, 10% bet guarantee. Bet alongside us right here on Coast to Coast.
Here we go. And Joe did mention it in there, so you had to bring it up. Kevin Durant comes back last night, and the Rockets still can't get the win. So he's worried. I mean, you're down 2-0, but you haven't had a home game yet. So it's not all lost for the Rockets, Joe. But that was disappointing for him to come back and not close it out. So.
And that might be the safest bet out there. that is like, so the problem is that's like a minus 9,000.
Right.
If you're betting Joe's going to lose money, that is.
Yes. And yeah, it is definitely the podcast because we could hear it. We knew that you had clicked something and something had happened. And it was like a magic trick where the guy does the smoke. And then when you said he's still standing there, you're like, oh, okay, what was the trick? Aren't you supposed to disappear or something? So that was weird. But yeah, Joe, I think you guys still get back at home if you're the Rockets, but you get your best player back and you still can't close out that game. And the Lakers, every game that the Lakers stretch out anything that they're good, they're just trying to get back to Luka and Reeves coming back. So I really thought they'd close out that, or I thought they would tie that series up last night. They didn't.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, I'm gonna pull for myself from now so that I can get everything moving for me. So I may or may not see us tomorrow, but if not, have a great week, and we'll be talking again on Monday.
So,
right on.
Have a good one, man. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you.
That's got to be a lot of fun at the draft.
Yeah. I wanted to get out there, but there's just no way. I need more sponsors. That's the thing. We need more sponsors. Although we appreciate Bet Us and of course True Fusion Gym, which we might as well plug them right now. Get a free 5-day pass. Any of the 3 True Fusion Gym locations here in the Pacific Northwest: Bellevue, Ballard, University Village, Pilates Boot Camp, Yoga Bar, and more. Find your edge. True Fusion Gym. But yeah, when you're looking at some of these events, like as expensive as rooms and flights and all of that is, it's just like, oh man, like
yes.
you need some high rollers coming through.
Yes. Because I know it's not a specific event, but like, for us, especially in the South, that's every college football Saturday. You almost plan your trip certain places based on, okay, does Alabama have a home game? Well, I know if I'm flying into Birmingham, the flights that week are this much, and hotels, I worked at a hotel one time, and the guy said, if we have a room that's open, you can charge whatever you want for it. Yep. I was like, wow, on those weekends. So you absolutely know.
They're not wrong. I mean, doing the Senior Bowl, being down there for the week, plus your flight and whatever, I mean, that's $3-4 grand, and you're not going anywhere cool.
Right.
No. like you're Mobile, Alabama, like as a tiny town, not a whole lot going on. And you're spending money like you went on an actual vacation.
Yeah. Like what JT said, their life. Yes. Every day is planned around it. And Tuscaloosa is a college town. So you go there and it's like, hey, food, bar. So you're not going for sights, but yes, you will absolutely spend that much money getting there and staying there for a whole weekend. So yeah. But
yeah,
he said it's big for it's actually big for a lot of people.
Yeah. No, I mean, especially in towns where they have one, right? You see less of that when it's, towns that have, one of all the major sports, or right. If it's like LA where they have 2 of everything, so nobody cares about anything. But if you go places like Alabama or Green Bay or something like that, where it's like, this is what you got. And so on a Saturday or a Sunday, that's it. Like that town is shut down.
Yeah. And I think, like, I know Pags would make a joke about it now, but it's honestly true. We're in a the pace of life down here is slower. Sure. What do you do on Friday night? Probably hanging out, drinking, and relaxing. Like there's not a lot of attractions that you're trying to go to. Half of us stay in the house because we like the slower way of life. So yeah, when it comes to football season, everything is an event. And that's why they always say it's bigger down here, just because we don't have the other stuff. We don't have the other distractions. Like you said, there is no pro sports on Sunday to bounce back from. So sometimes Saturday is all you have. So
yeah, well, and I mean, it's also why the high schools have a lot of outside following also. They're like, okay, we're going to go check out some Friday Night Lights, go watch some, high school football. And that's why when you get into some of those towns in Texas and really throughout the South, is they are missing some of the other major sports. And so, college and high school sports get a lot more eyeballs on it, because it's not like you live there and you're just like, well, I live here, so I hate sports. Like that's how that works. So
right. Thanks, Raj. Even though you're not here anymore, but yes. And it's been a little while since Raj has dropped an insult. Like, are you feeling okay? Blink twice. Which, by the way, I need to plug for something else. But tonight is Raj's birthday show.
It's just because he popped in. See, what he's been doing is he's popped in like hi, and then like gone.
Lower, yeah. So
he's like, I can't watch this. And what'd you say? Tonight is the birthday show?
Tonight is the birthday show. Roger's birthday was on Monday, but celebrating him tonight on the show, which makes for an easy show for me. I'm just going to sit back and say good stuff about him. So hopefully I survive that. So, and yes, Donna, that is the Saturday night show gets a little crazy at times. So,
hey, nothing wrong with the late show.
Yes.
Late shows are fun. Late shows are fun because usually they're also the content is a little more fluid also.
Right.
It's generally not good for radio. Like that is
no,
that is the main takeaway.
No, you couldn't, but definitely for YouTube. So
exactly.
Just said turtle racing on Saturday. Joe, we're with you. Like it is like I said, the pace of life out here is just a lot slower. And most of your nights are, hey, we're gonna go sit out back and talk and have a drink, and that's really it. So
what do we do in draft day? So funny enough, like that's on my end, it's going to be 2 screens because it's going to be the first preseason game for the Storm also.
Okay.
So so it's going to be trying to cover some of that and then still pay attention to the draft. Fortunately, I don't have to pay real close attention to this draft. Seattle likely isn't going to be in the first round. So I fully expect them to drop out of that last spot. I don't think they need anybody that they have to have a 5th-year option for. And so I see them dropping back, trying to gain an extra pick. And, especially in a year where they only have 4 picks. They have a 1st, 2nd, a 3rd, and a 6th as it sits today. So if they were to drop back out of that, maybe get another mid-second rounder for giving that one up and collect, a 3rd and a 5th, something like that.
Right.
I could absolutely see them doing something to that effect, unless they just happen to have a lineman or something that they want that 5th-year option on.
Oh, yeah, to get the first round. Yeah, no, I could absolutely see that for them. On our end, it's totally, because, don't have a pro team. And I have a chance at maybe 2 guys going in the first round. Nowhere in the top 10. And JT asked this earlier, do I think Ty Simpson's a top 15? I think the conversation probably starts at 16 with the Jets. Seen a lot of mocks where the Cardinals trade back into the first round to get him late. I see one of those situations, but I'm going to say no, he doesn't go in the top 15. And then we've got Caden Proctor. So that's like pretty much our whole first round draft. The only 2 things I'd be watching tonight, because we actually got asked, hey, are you guys doing a live stream for the draft? And one, Roger's actually going to be in Montgomery. He's flying and traveling today. So he'll be in town this weekend. But second, it's like I'd be talking about a lot of guys that I just didn't have as much interest in. And then it'd be like, hey, there's my 2 guys, And it's painful as an Alabama fan to watch maybe 4 Ohio State guys go in the top 10, and I had to talk about them. So, and one of them might be a former player for us. So,
the Ty Simpson thing is funny because he could be as high as the 2nd pick, and then he could be as low as pick 48.
Yeah.
It's crazy how wide of a range that he could potentially be. Do I think he goes in the top 15? Probably.
Really?
Because I do. And the only reason I say that is I think there is going to be some movement in this draft.
Right.
Solely because the skill positions for the first round aren't deep. Right. And if you aren't necessarily looking for one of those guys, but you're in one of those top spots, you're going to be able to get some decent, some decent return for it, especially if you're there like, hey, I need an offensive lineman or defensive lineman. There's a lot of them that are going to be in the first round, even though I think most of them are 2nd round talents. That allows you to drop back and grab some of those guys without having to be in the top 15.
Right.
And you gain a couple of extra draft picks. You still get basically the guy you want. The name may be different, but the skill set's the same. And so if there is a quarterback needy team which, obviously there is, I could see somebody making that move. Do I think that would be overdrafted? I do.
Right.
But that would not shock me. I mean, you have Richardson that went 4th overall. So like anything can happen.
Right. I think that's definitely a cautionary tale. I like, there's certain teams, I guess I'm not, if he goes to the Cardinals, they're still the Cardinals, but there would be a plan to sit him. I loved it when the Rams were kind of on their radar, because that's, clearly you're going to sit for a year, maybe 2, but still go into a great system and somebody can work with you. So I love those options for him, no matter where they go. I'm still going to say no on the top 15 for Ty. And I want to do a deeper dive later today and kind of look, gathering information is, here's 6 different people who have mock drafts. 2 of those are going to have him in the second round. You know what I mean? One of them will have him top 50. Yeah, it's going to be all over the place, but it's at least the best.
So the real question, like you don't even have to go that far. You just have to look at whatever ridiculous statement Kuiper put out, and then you just go the opposite way. If he says, hey, he's going to be the 30th pick, he's top 15. If he says, oh, he's going to go top 5, you're like, he's a second rounder.
Yeah. No, Kuiper will definitely be on the list. That I really got to track that one this year. That'll be funny if that exactly happens, but you never know with Kuiper. So, hey, kudos to him for taking this one gimmick and making a career out of it. So,
hey, I'm not mad at it. Like, I rock with the hustle that he has. Like, it's, he found a niche that he's been able to put himself into for the last 30 years now. So good on him. I mean, it literally is a position of, it doesn't matter if I'm right or not.
Basically, what you do is you publicize the ones that you're right, and you kind of bury all the ones that you're wrong and let the rest of us laugh at it. So,
well, and that's why there's only like 2 highlights a year.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the thing. And it's why I don't even do mock drafts, is it's like, okay, so you generally get the first one right.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah. Right? Because then somebody makes a trade or whatever, and then the rest of it's out the window. Like whatever you said after that fact no longer matters, because none of them are going to be right. Yeah. So that's why I always laugh when you're like, this is mock draft 503. And you're just like, guys, just stop.
Yeah.
I understand news is slow if you're only a football show, but wow.
Yeah. But that's the thing. They all put them out. They all say different stuff, but you're trying to anticipate all these different rooms. Everyone's putting out misinformation. If the Browns, if somebody tells you tomorrow, look, the Browns really love Reese, they probably hate that guy. And they don't, they're either trying to get somebody to trade. And, it's just like so much about lying to everyone else. I think the only people who aren't lying is the Raiders are taking Mendoza. And then, like you said, after that, done. So
it could be anything after that. And it generally is anything after that. Like, you always end up with that trade that's early that you didn't see coming. Like nobody saw Will Anderson going to the Texans right after they picked, you didn't see them moving up twice to do all of that stuff. Was it awesome? Sure. Was it great to, watch that play out? Sure. You know how many people got that mock right? 0.
Right. And I think CBS Sports does one every year where they or maybe ESPN does, I don't know, the all trades mock draft, where they try to anticipate every trade. I'm like, okay, you're just having fun. But like you said, you don't know. And Brian, I don't have an NFL team. Yeah. Oh, sorry. The Eagles have a lot of picks in the draft. It's like
they got like 10, right?
Yeah.
9 or 10, something like that. Yeah. So they got quite a few. They ended up with a lot of comp picks. So they have I think they have like 3 third rounders, something like that.
So it is 8.
Oh, it's 8. Okay.
2 third, 2 fourth is where it goes out. But like the comp picks ended up being a 3rd, a 4th, and a 5th. But
okay, there we go.
Yep. And only like 2 of them were their own picks, and then just gamble.
Brian, Herb hates pro sports, so
Brian, when you're from Alabama, you kind of root for wherever your stars go. Like when Derrick Henry went to the Titans, I was a Titans fan for a little bit. But for purposes of this show, going into next year, if they haven't kicked me off by next year, I'm going to go with the Texans and the Panthers, and I'm just gonna have a miserable year. But that's who I will. I'll put my buy some beer.
You didn't want to go with Atlanta? Keep it with your baseball team?
No, I don't. No, Raj can have Atlanta because Tua.
Yeah, fair enough.
Tua's there now. But
Brian, you forgot the little music note.
No, I'll take with Bryce Young and the Panthers, and I'll take oddly enough, the trade that you just mentioned, Will Anderson getting traded. I mean, getting they moved up and drafted him is what made me like the Texans. That and D'Amico Ryans, of course, he's from Alabama. But my whole thought was when they went up to make that trade, I was like, Will Anderson better be a star, or we'll never hear the end of this. So I started rooting for the Texans because I wanted, anytime you go up, anytime you draft second and then you trade up to get the third and take a defensive player, that guy's gotta pan out. And honestly, Will Anderson looks better than CJ Stroud right now.
I was gonna say he did not disappoint.
Yes.
So
So Alabama's practice users were obviously green and white, go Birds. I don't mind Philly, but you can't have two people root for Philly on the same team. I'm in the same program.
That's true.
But no. Dallas should draft a defensive player. Yeah. There's going to be a riot if they don't get a defensive player. The last couple articles I've seen has all been, are they trading up for the guy that they want, or are they going to wait to see who falls in their lap? But
I mean, they're probably going to go best available. They don't tend to do a lot of jump up the draft.
Right.
I mean, they better do something with the defense. The offense obviously worked. It was the best scoring offense in the league. Right. They just happen to have the worst defense in the league also. So, I mean, if they don't really load up this defense, the fan base is going to be mad.
For sure. And I mean, I can't think of what you actually just need on offense. You can plug and play. You've got two of the best. You got the best wide receiver tandem as long as one of them.
Offensive line. Yeah. Offensive line is probably the biggest thing. Is you need some guys that can give Dak a little bit more time, because when he's protected, he actually is a good quarterback.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But if he's scrambling around, that's where he makes bad decisions.
Yeah.
So. If they can get an offensive lineman, I don't expect them to do that in the first round, though.
No, because they did that last year. Defense has got to be the priority. And every mock I've seen so far, like we said, who knows what that means, has had them taking a defender. So I just clicked on one real quick just to see, and the first thing they had, Dallas trading up to get a defender.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's because if you watch football at any level, right, you can watch a Dallas game and be like, oh, you know what's awful on this team? Defense.
Yeah.
I mean, if the Bengals defense is better than yours, you're doing something wrong.
Yes. So, and the Texans have to draft an offensive lineman, and I've seen that in a lot of draft mocks too. But they've got to figure out what's going on with their line. They clearly, you're not going defense. And you feel like you have, when healthy, they don't have a bad wide receiving core. It's just getting everybody out there. Mm-hmm. You already grabbed another running back. So, it's got to be an offensive line. It feels like they've been retooling their offensive line at least the last 2 years and just throwing stuff in and see what sticks. But no, I could absolutely see them get an offensive lineman.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they need. As much as people were bagging on Stroud, a lot of those bad decisions were because he was under pressure. Right? Like if they gave him some time, it's not like Stroud's bad. We saw him with time in his rookie season. He looked great, So you have the decline of that offensive line, and it showed.
Yes.
He starts making real bad decisions, and still completing passes, just the wrong jerseys. But
that was a frustrating game to watch. Especially when your defense gives you enough to win, and we're just like, look. If you punt it on first down, we're probably in a better spot than you're putting us in. So,
yeah. No, I mean, he was giving him short field nonstop.
Yeah.
Tough to win that way.
Yeah, absolutely. But yes, Texans get an offensive lineman. I don't see how they avoid it.
Yeah, and then the question I get asked a lot is, what's Seattle going to do? And of course, there's only 4 picks, right? So that's where I think they do drop out of that first round.
Which would be smart.
Yeah, right. I mean, because I don't see anybody that they'd be targeting at 32 that you couldn't get that same caliber guy in the second round. Right. And so if you're going to go that route, I also don't see any of those guys that you really need that fifth year option on. If they were to go offensive line with one of those picks, say they drop back and they have an extra second rounder, right? And then they pick up like a third and a fifth, or something to that effect. I would expect that second round having 2 picks that you get your running back, and you probably get an offensive guard.
Okay. Now, are you all?
Well, sorry, I was just going to say, because Bradford showed that he wasn't the guy, and when they stopped playing him, the offensive line got better. So that makes you think that you're probably going to go for an offensive guard that, maybe you're not giving up on Bradford, but he certainly needs somebody to push him.
Okay. Because that kind of leads into what my question is going to be specifically for them. Because they're obviously running back, maybe not a starter, but it is a kind of a tandem that you run. That's why you're getting a running back. So I was going to say, are you only coming off a Super Bowl looking for depth pieces, or are you looking for another starter? But you answered that with, maybe a depth piece, but also maybe a starter if it works out and that's the person to move off.
So it'll be a starter. Okay. They're going to be looking like Charbonnet will be running back 1.
Right.
No question. They were talking about having him become running back 1 this season anyway, or this last season anyway, right? Walker was, and then he was in danger of losing that job to Charbonnet, and Charbonnet gets hurt.
Right.
Now Walker ends up having a great postseason. People are like, you have to pay him. It's like, yeah, I think you guys forgot about like the last 3 years of him playing.
Right.
Not that he's been bad, but he's been hurt a lot, inconsistent, whatever. So yeah, he rattled off 3 wins, got his bag, not mad at it.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's not what Seattle does, right? Like, they don't overpay for running backs. They never have. And so this is where you have a couple of guys that they probably will target. And Katron Allen from Penn State is probably one of them. Good, strong runner, has good hands, plays well in a tandem situation, which, he'd be able to walk straight into Seattle. He's probably going to be, he probably beats out the other running backs that are in the room, right? So you'd have Charbonnet as running back 1. He'd probably immediately slate into that running back 2 situation. The other one is Jonah Coleman out of the UW, and also similar guy, strong runner, good hands, good blocker. And, that's some of the things that people kind of forget about when it comes to Seattle is we do use our running back as a blocker a lot of times. So when you see some of these high-powered guys around the league, as much as the flash is there, they'd be excited about, the fit isn't. That's why you never see them go get one of the top receiving tight ends. It's like, yeah, that's great, but we use you to block a lot. And,
which is kind of why you got Robbie Oates, huh?
Yeah, well, and you saw what happened when we went and got, Jimmy Graham, which is one of the best receiving tight ends ever, but he couldn't block to save his life. Right. And so he gets to Seattle, and they're like, hey, you know what you're going to do is you're going to block. And he's like, yeah, I don't really do that.
Yeah. And it's funny. I always, refer it back to your own, but we got a guy from Oklahoma State, Josh Ford, and that's what he does is block. And we're in a situation where our running game was horrible, putrid, some may say, and they had to improve that, And one of the things they did was, let's go get a tight end. Look, a lot of them that are great blockers are serviceable catchers. They're not going to be like a Gronk and running all around. But hey, if I need a safety valve and I throw it to you and I need 5 yards, you'll probably catch it and give me the 5. You might not turn it into the 10 like some of these other guys. But if you're an excellent blocker and an okay receiver, you're probably still getting on the field a lot for, like you said, situations like that. And that's what we went and got him for specifically. And he's already getting rave reviews. But if you're trying to improve that certain part of your team, you need those kind of guys. And like I said, that's why I think you got Robbie Oates. He was an okay catcher. Robbie Oates caught it. He wasn't, there was no speed. He wasn't breaking anybody down. But as far as a blocker or even a sometimes fullback, he was the guy. And he's kind of the guy that will probably stick around for a while because of those reasons. So,
well, and not only that, but when you have one of those guys, they don't necessarily have to be fast because the defense looks at that guy as a potential blocker. So they will engage. So when they do those little slide off routes, they're wide open. Do they get a lot of yards after catch? No, but you don't generally need them. Usually if you're doing that type of block and shed to get into just kind of a short little route, there's no one around.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can get it. You pick up your first down.
Yeah. That was Robbie Hoots. I remember a play. He caught it on the left side. I was like, run. I was like, oh, he is running. Oh, okay. But you know what? It was only like 3 or 4 yards to get it. He got the first down. He doesn't, drop. He doesn't fumble. And you're just like, that's a big guy. So, no, hats off to Robbie Hoots. We were happy to see him get drafted. So,
yeah, I mean, and that's all you need, right? A lot of, especially if you're going to have multiple tight ends, right? Like if you run dual tight end sets, 12 personnel for, then you have your speed receiver, and then you have your guy that everybody's like, oh, he's going to block. And then that's where you burn teams because they're like, okay, we have to put our best linebacker on that tight end. And then you get your other outside guy, which is probably your least efficient linebacker on a guy that they're assuming is blocking. And yeah, he's going to beat that linebacker 90% of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why people always like, why are they carrying so many? It's like, you want guys that do different things. You don't want the guy that we know can't block to save his life, in certain situations. That's just it. So grab a bunch of different personnel and mix and match.
Yeah,
I'm not mad.
Absolutely. So the Giants making all kinds of moves. They are looking at potentially bringing OBJ back.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, the name doesn't mean anything anymore, right? But he is a 400-yard splash player.
Yeah.
Right. So he'll make half a dozen meaningful plays this season. Right. But it also lets him end his career with New York. And so, I mean, like there's feel good story pieces of it. He won't be impactful. Right. And I think that's where some of the fan base there is kind of losing their minds a little bit. They're like, why would we bring him back? And then there's the other ones that are like, we have to bring him back. And it's like, I mean, does he add something as a wide receiver 3? Sure. Yeah. Like you get OBJ, even in his current state, lined up on a nickel corner or an outside linebacker, he's going to win.
Yeah.
Right. Even at this stage in his career, like he's still fast enough in and out of a break that he's going to make that successful. But the ones that are like, oh, he's going to change the game. He's not.
No.
Like his game changing ability, 6 years ago at this point.
Yeah. And staying healthy has been his biggest thing too the last couple of years.
Sure.
I don't remember a full healthy season. What's really going to get you though, Bo, is it's going to happen game 6 or 7, right? He's going to have a favorable matchup, go for like 7 catches, 120 and a touchdown.
Yep.
And it's going to be, he's back. It's great. And then the next week it's going to be 1 catch. And they're like, what happened? And blame everybody. But like, look, you're going to get flashes somewhere and he'll still be a steady, guy, but he just won't be the guy. And that's okay at this stage. If he can get a good feel-good story, have a couple games. And let's say the Giants make the playoffs and he's back there for it. That's a great story.
That is.
Just ride that.
Well, and him in the playoffs is different. Like he can make a difference in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
Because the playoffs comes down to 1 or 2 plays.
Yeah.
And could he be the difference in those 1 and 2 plays? Of course. Absolutely. Right. Because that's what he's going to be good for. Where most of the hate that OBJ will be after he has that great game. And then he disappears from the stat sheet the next week, because you're going to have so many fantasy players that are like, I put OBJ on. He had an amazing day. It's like, oh, you messed up.
Yeah.
Whose
fault is
missed
this?
it. You missed it. He was going to have one game. It just happened.
Yes. Because there's also going to be that one guy that put him on for every week.
Yes.
And then he had that one game and they're like, yeah, see, I told you. Have you had him all along? Ignore that part. See, I told you. So no, it's going to happen. And I'm not going to say he's going to go blanked for the whole year. Yeah, he's going to have a great game, maybe 2. They're going to be spread out. Like, I'm not saying back-to-back weeks, but it's going to happen. And like you said, we'll all overreact to it. So,
yeah, absolutely. And then he's going to have a game where it's one catch for 12 yards.
Yeah.
In fact, he'll probably have multiple of those.
Yes. Yeah. But I think at this stage of his career, it's how do you handle that? Are there antics? Is there, or is it just like, look, I realize this is what it is, and I'm down on the totem pole, and am I just going to wait for my my opportunity to make the best of it?
So I think his first year kind of in that role, especially as he started getting banged up, like he did seem to have an attitude about it, right?
Right.
He doesn't seem to anymore. Like, it looks like he understands, hey, I'm a 400-yard receiver at this point. Like, it just staying healthy is an issue. I'm not any team's number one target. So, again, it's not to say that he's not talented or can't play at a high level. He just can't stay healthy, and he can't play at a high level for long periods of time.
Right.
Like, you're going to get a few special plays in any given game. Maybe. Like, he'll have opportunities in every game. He won't necessarily get the targets because he's not the number one target.
Right.
So even though he may end up with a good read on the defense, run a good route, ball may already be in the air.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I agree. But good story for them if they do bring him back. Giants, I mean, and like I said, it's not a bad move as they're making some good moves. I mean, they are positioning themselves to really be a player. Like I said, I think it comes down to Jackson Dart long term, but they're making some other good moves. So
they also have one other guy they're still looking to trade, which I was a little bit surprised after they got rid of Lawrence. They are still listening to trades for Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah.
I thought that the Lawrence trade would have kind of limited this one. Right. Because at some point you do need some guys on defense still, right?
In theory, Bo. In theory.
So I was surprised to hear that they are still entertaining offers. Now, obviously, if it's a great offer where they're offering multiple ones or something like that, sure. Yeah, of course. If someone wants to overpay for him, yeah.
Then you got it. Yeah.
But I kind of thought that they would have been backing out of it because originally it sounded like they were like, yeah, we'll trade one or the other, right? Whichever one actually gets sold to, the rights to another team. But it sounds like they might move on both.
Yeah. I could see it if your timeline is to get a little younger anyway, though. So maybe. No, he's only 25 though. So yeah, no.
Yeah. And Brian, this is, so the odds went way down for them to move in, but they're still entertaining conversations, which lets you think there is it's a non-zero chance. There we go. Like it's low, but not a no.
Never zero, right? So.
But that being said, that does get us to the top of the show. And man, what do you got later today? You got Raj's birthday show.
Raj's birthday show will be tonight. And then personally, we're going to do a couple videos, like we mentioned on our possible first round of Proctor and Simpson, a couple videos on that. But the biggest thing is tonight, Raj's birthday celebration. So that should be a lot of fun. And then back here tomorrow morning. So.
Yeah. And then I'm going to be hanging out with Brian here in a couple of hours. And got the Wednesday wrap up coming up as well. Other than that, gonna get out of here. If you're listening on 97.3 ICU Radio, we got some smooth jazz headed your way. Otherwise, if you are on every other platform, like and subscribe does help us get our content further out there. Otherwise, we will see you all tomorrow. Take it easy, everybody.
Peace.